What's going on, people? Welcome back to Arsenal Football Channel. Blessing to you, blessing to your family. I hope you are doing well on the eve of what will be an exciting game, in my opinion. Arsenal or Aston Villa against Arsenal, because we're playing at their home. And look, it will be a hard game. I'm not going to trick myself and think that this game is going to be easy, especially after the game that Aston Villa played versus Manchester City. We see how good they are, especially at home. I watched this team very carefully, especially since that victory. I've gone back and I've looked at how they play, how they move the ball, how they want to defend, how they want to attack. And in some ways, they play a similar game to us. But I will say this, as I've said before, any team that plays in an open fashion or open style of play, let me mute my computer here. Any team that plays in a very open way, open, expansive football against Arsenal, I am not afraid of this team. And it is the same for Aston Villa. And this new Arsenal, I back them to beat anyone that plays in that way. One of the reasons for that is because we have been defending well. And I know some people will say that we conceded 3 goals against Luton Town, and I know this, but you have to also be mindful that these goals were conceded under circumstances that were not normal. 2 goals from set plays. Remember, Luton Town is a very big team. They're very good at set pieces, and they would have practiced this over and over and over. That is not normal for us. We have been very good at defending set plays, and so this is a one-off. And that's why I said in my previous in my previous analysis of the match that the set piece coach has a lot of work to do, and he needs to ensure that this is just a one-off and it does not happen. And I think that is what it was. And secondly, my midfield, the midfield general, Declan Rice, if he stays fit, I am very confident. These boys give me all the confidence to say that they will go there and they will leave with, in my opinion, not only a point. I think they will leave with all 3 points. That's a personal opinion of mine. I can be wrong. I am not naive enough to think that everything that I say or predict will come through. But I hear some Arsenal fans saying that they would settle with a draw, and I find this rather disappointing. Disappointing because I always speak about the Arsenal and what I want the Arsenal to be. I know we're not there yet, but the subsections or segments of Arsenal, we need to be on one page, and that is when we will achieve the mission and vision that I always talk about. The mission to win the Premier League and the vision to be a dominant force in world football. And if we are going into a match like this and thinking that we would be okay with a draw, that vision will be very far-fetched. No matter how good the team is, we need to go into the game thinking that we can win the game. And when that happens, we as the fans, we play our part in helping the boys to get there. Remember what I always talk about, energy. We have to give them this positive energy, and they deserve it because they have shown us that they can reciprocate that energy to us. And remember, as I said, this is a two-way street. If we're confident, if we give them the positive energy and belief that we know that they need from us, I think they will show us the same, and they will show up. Now, I know it will be hard in terms of fans at the away ground, because Villa is a very, very loud stadium, and they will be right up for the game. They are not very far away from Anfield when that crowd gets going. But I know that the boys can play under these circumstances, and I know Arteta would have been drilling this into their heads of how dangerous this Aston Villa team is. We played them last year. I know Arteta would be watching that game over and over again. Not only that game, but the City game. He would be watching this closely and analyzing and evaluating how we can get some advantage in the game tomorrow. And I have no doubt, I back this coach fully. I believe in this coach, so much so that I believe that this coach will bring us beyond what some people are saying. I think this coach will bring us to league titles, will bring us to even the Champions League. And I know that's far-fetched, but such is my belief in Mikel Arteta. He has done something to the club that I have never seen before. And some Arsenal fans are as blind as opposition fans. And I can understand the blindness of opposition fans, because that is what they're supposed to do. Their opposition. Some of them's sole purpose is to hate, just because that is what they have done for years, and because the name Arsenal have given some of them nightmares, so the hate will come from them. But I want the Arsenal fans to not follow this path. I want us to be positive. I want us to play our role. And what we need to know is that if we go to Aston Villa and we go 1-0 down and we go 2-0 down, whatever it is, that is when the boys will need the fans the most. That is when they will need us the most. And we need to elevate them, because they do the same. And as I always say, we have to play our part. We have to play our part. They have to play their part. We have to play our part. The manager has to play his part. The hierarchy have to play their part. And that is when we come together and form this impenetrable unit that I always talk about. We can become a force, but we need to understand the role, and we need to play that role well. And that we will need more than ever tomorrow. Well, having said that, we won't have Mikel Arteta on the bench, unfortunately, because of stupidity, and it is stupidity that doesn't seem to be consistent, conveniently in this case. And I said, when Mikel Arteta spoke out about the embarrassment of BGMOL, the embarrassment of the state of the game, I said that there will be some reaction from this body. And I think this is what I am seeing now. They are being biased, of course, in a negative way towards Mikel Arteta because of the way he spoke about the game. And he was not wrong. And I know they would have done this. So I am not surprised that Mikel Arteta got a third yellow card. And what I will be highlighting is how many other managers get yellow carded or not as the season go along. Because we know that a lot of managers, they celebrate, and they should celebrate, because that is what the game is all about. What is the game if we cannot celebrate? What is the game if a manager cannot feel good when his team score a goal, and a winning goal at that? This is, we are emotional beings. So if someone celebrates, that should be banned altogether. And I understand that there has to be some restrictions on what you can and cannot do. But if a manager celebrates when his team score, personally, I see nothing wrong with that. And in my opinion, if a manager wants to run all the way to celebrate with the boys as they always form that huddle, I see no issue with this. I have no issue with this. It is all in the game. It shows the passion that we all have for the game, and it shows how invested we are. De Zerbi has done it, slid on his knee. Klopp is a very emotional manager, and I see no problem with this. But what I must say is, if they're going to give Mikel Arteta a yellow card, what they need to do is be consistent right across the board, and every time a manager celebrates or step outside of the zone, they produce this. And once it's consistent right across the board, and Mikel Arteta touched on it in his pre-match press conference as well, will this be something that is consistent right across the board or not? Personally, I don't think it will be. I think it's just a bias towards Mikel Arteta because of how straightforward he is. People want to be biased against him, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Mikel Arteta is banned again before the season is completed, or given a red card. I wouldn't be surprised about this, because I predicted that this would happen. But that will not stop this machine that is Arsenal. You can hate it all you want, but there is something special happening. And these kind of petty sanctions will not stop this machine. And that is what I need the fans to understand. And I keep stressing on the fans, because we don't seem to know that we have a role. We have a big role to play. And there is a reciprocal relationship that exists. We need to be positive when we're going into games. Even when we're down, we need to be positive. And we have done it before. And that's why I keep saying it. We have done it with William Saliba. I saw that last season more than any other. We lifted the players when they were down, and as the season go on, it tapers off. But what I need the fans to do, when we are 2-0 down, right? We as fans, we need to dig in and elevate the boys, and this will help them. When we are 2-2 in a match, as we know it will happen, we need to elevate them. We need to elevate them. We need to let them feel our presence and let them know that we are here, right? Because I think the boys are ready. I think the boys are ready to do this, but we need to come on board and give them that extra boost to push them forward, right? I hear it from a couple of Villa fans that they think that they will win the game. I hear 3-1 predictions, and I can see why they're optimistic. They played very well against who I think is the best team in the world, right? In terms of Manchester City, and they were very, very good in that game. Leon Bailey, he will be one to contend with. And I specifically picked out Leon Bailey, and I think he's going to be a problem. I know this player very well because he's my compatriot, Jamaican, and he's very good. He has a magical left foot, but he also is very good on the right foot as well. He can pop a shot with that right foot. Don't let him fool you. That right foot is also good. So I think if Leon Bailey is available, hopefully he does not come on until the 90th minute of the game when we already have it wrapped up. That would be a joy. But he will be the main man for Aston Villa, in my opinion. We know Ollie Watkins is a good player. We know Diaby is a good player. We know they have a good midfield. So I am saying this to say they have quality right across the pitch. We know that they have a good manager. We know that they have a very loud home crowd. We know all of this. And the fact that we know all of this, we have to take it. We have to look at where the gaps are and try to take advantage of that. And that, I think, my coach has that down. And that's why I predict that we will come away with 3 points from Aston Villa. If I'm wrong, I will hold my hands up. But I think we have enough defensively, offensively to get the job done. So I say the main player for us, we have a lot of people who can play this role for us. Our wingers, Martinelli and Saka, if they're fit, they will be on it. Jesus, I think Jesus will be our main guy tomorrow because he will cause chaos in that defense. And even if he does not score, the movement that he gives us in that front line, bringing in the two wingers, bringing in our two midfielders, i.e. Odegaard and Havertz if he plays, or Trossard if he plays, and the midfield general Declan Rice, right? I hope he's been practicing his long shot, and I hope he bags one tomorrow from outside of the box because he always has that space on the box. Hopefully we have such spaces tomorrow, and if we have that, I think we will hurt Aston Villa. And I know they can hurt us too, but I think we can stand up to the fight. We are ready for this. I am sure of it. So come on, you Gunners. Let's go, boys. I know you can do it. I predict that we will win this game. I will say 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal at Aston Villa tomorrow. Hopefully, all goes well. That will be the score, and we come away with all 3 points. So, with that being said, please leave a like, subscribe, comment on the video, or a dislike if you see it fit. Just give me some feedback. That would be great. Until then, blessing to you, blessing to your family. Hopefully, we're speaking tomorrow after the match with smile on our faces because we have gotten the job done. Until then, walk good. Speak to you soon.